Greetings, fans of baseball. It's fantastic to have you here with us, your primary destination for everything related to the Bronx Bombers. If you share our passion for Yankees baseball, make sure you stick around for the latest updates, game analysis, and insider insights about the players. Now, let's get down to the action. Imagine this scenario. You're standing on the mound at Yankee Stadium, the iconic ballpark, surrounded by a sea of passionate fans, all cheering in unison. The energy in the air is palpable, the crowd buzzing with anticipation. You're Nestor Cortes, a pitcher who's made a name for himself with a distinctive style, mixing up his pitches and keeping hitters on their toes with a unique approach. You've got that competitive edge, the kind that thrives in moments like this when the spotlight is shining on you. But today is going to be different. The game begins, and you throw your first pitch, a fastball aimed toward the batter. The crack of the bat rings out, and before you know it, the ball sails over the left center field fence. A home run. The stadium erupts, but this isn't the kind of reaction you were hoping for. Not even a moment to gather your thoughts, and now you're back on the mound, trying to shake it off. You take a deep breath, focus, and prepare for the next pitch. It's another fastball, and once again, the ball is hit hard, this time soaring towards right center field, easily clearing the fence for yet another home run. It's a tough start, to say the least, and the crowd is starting to feel the energy as the Yankees lineup looks like they're in full swing. The tension is thick in the air, and you're feeling the weight of the situation as the third pitch comes in. You try something different this time, a cutter. You release the ball, watching it spin towards the plate, but once again it's crushed. This time, it's headed towards left field, and the ball flies out of the park for yet another home run. 3 pitches, 3 home runs. It's not exactly the start you envisioned. You stand there for a moment, trying to compose yourself as the crowd cheers, but not in the way you wanted. The game is off to an unbelievable start, but not for the reasons anyone could have predicted. But let's zoom out for a second and take a look at the big picture. This game, from the very beginning, is shaping up to be something special, an unforgettable matchup, not only for its extraordinary events, but also for the powerful display put on by the Yankees hitters. It's a reminder that in baseball, anything can happen, and every game tells its own story. The inning that followed was nothing short of extraordinary. The Yankees came out with a bang, sending the first pitch they saw into the stands. Paul Goldschmidt wasted no time, launching the very first pitch in a crowd for a home run. It was the kind of start that sets the tone for what's to come. Then, Cody Bellinger followed suit, hitting the very next pitch out of the park as well. It was a back-to-back show of power, with the Yankees proving they were ready to leave their mark early. And then came Aaron Judge. As if the Yankees hadn't already made a statement, Judge stepped up to the plate, and with the third consecutive pitch of the game, he hammered a 468-foot home run to left field, sending the crowd into a frenzy. 3 pitches, 3 home runs, something you don't see every day. This was the first time in Major League Baseball history that a team had hit 3 consecutive home runs on the first 3 pitches of a game. It was a historic moment, one that would be remembered for years to come. But even with this remarkable start, the Yankees weren't done yet. They weren't satisfied with just 3 home runs. In the same inning, Austin Wells stepped up to the plate and launched a solo shot, making it 4 home runs in the opening frame, an unprecedented feat for the team. The scoreboard lit up early, flashing numbers that signaled the beginning of what would be a game for the ages. For Nestor Cortes, however, the nightmare wasn't over. The second inning rolled around, and after the Brewers had managed to narrow the gap to 4-3, Cortes found himself in another difficult spot. With 2 outs and a full count, he faced off against Anthony Volpe. Volpe, not one to miss an opportunity, launched a 3-run home run into the stands, extending the Yankees' lead even further. It was another crushing blow for Cortes, who was clearly struggling to find his rhythm. By the time the third inning rolled around, his outing was over. He had walked the leadoff batter, which was followed by a statistic he would certainly prefer to forget. 5 home runs allowed, 5 walks, and 8 earned runs in just 2 innings of work. It wasn't the kind of performance anyone expected from him, especially on such a big stage. But if you thought the Yankees' offense was going to slow down, you were wrong. Aaron Judge, who had already hit a home run in the first inning, was far from finished. In the third inning, with the bases loaded, Judge stepped to the plate once again. He took a deep breath and then launched a grand slam, his ninth of his career, to further widen the Yankees' lead. That's right, his ninth grand slam, cementing his reputation as one of the premier power hitters in the league. But Judge wasn't done there. In the fourth inning, with the game already in full swing, he launched yet another home run, this time a two-run shot that brought his total for the game to 3 home runs. His RBIs soared to 8, a personal record for Judge in a single game. It was a dominant performance, and it was clear that Judge was in the zone, taking full advantage of every opportunity that came his way. This was the kind of game that every player dreams of, an opportunity to shine on the big stage, to break records and make history. And Judge did just that. He continued to show why he's one of the best in the game, thriving under pressure and proving his worth with every swing. It didn't matter that he was facing his former teammate, Nestor Cortes. As Judge himself would say later in the game, the goal was always to be aggressive in the strike zone and take advantage of whatever the pitcher gave him. And that's exactly what he did. The Yankees weren't just winning. They were rewriting the record books. The 9 home runs hit by the team that day set a new franchise record, surpassing the previous high of 8 home runs, a mark that had been achieved twice before in the team's storied history. But the Yankees weren't the only ones making history. The game itself would go down as one of the most memorable performances in Major League Baseball, with only 2 other teams ever having hit at least 9 home runs in a single game: the Toronto Blue Jays in 1987 and the Cincinnati Reds in 1999. It was a testament to the sheer power and depth of the Yankees lineup. Cortez's early exit in the third inning marked a turning point in the game. His struggles were emblematic of the Brewers' pitching staff's woes throughout the contest. Injuries had already depleted their roster, leaving them with few reliable options to turn to when a Yankees lineup was firing on all cylinders. Even with the game far from over, it was becoming clear that the Brewers were going to need something extraordinary to make a comeback. It wasn't just about trying to score more runs. They needed to find a way to stop the Yankees from scoring even more. That's easier said than done when you're facing a team with as much power and talent as the Yankees. Back at the plate, Aaron Judge was making history in front of a packed Yankee Stadium. He was performing in a way that few players ever get the chance to. It wasn't just the home runs, though those were certainly a big part of his brilliance. It was the way he seemed to rise to the occasion every time his team needed him. In the third inning, after his grand slam, it was evident that Judge was in a league of his own. His confidence was palpable, and the Brewers' pitching staff had no answers. It wasn't just about raw power either. Judge's approach at the plate was methodical, well-prepared, and executed to perfection. Every swing was calculated, and every opportunity was seized. This wasn't just a lucky streak. It was the result of years of dedication and preparation, something that separated Judge from many others in the league. But even with Judge's dominance, the rest of the Yankees lineup wasn't exactly taking the day off. The team continued to put pressure on the Brewers' pitchers, showing that the offensive explosion wasn't just a one-man show. Players like Goldschmidt, Bellinger, and Wells had already made their mark, and the fact that the Yankees were able to keep up the pace for the entire game spoke volumes about the depth of their roster. The Brewers, on the other hand, found themselves in a nearly impossible situation. Their pitchers were being taken out one by one, struggling to get outs, and the Yankees kept rolling with what seemed like an endless stream of offensive threats. In many ways, it felt like the game was slipping away from the Brewers, and despite their best efforts to stay in it, every inning brought more runs for the Yankees, making it harder and harder for the Brewers to mount a comeback. The fourth inning came and went with more fireworks. Judge wasn't the only one making noise. Other key players on the Yankees roster were continuing to shine. In the middle of the inning, the Yankees lineup continued to demonstrate their ability to hit for power in a variety of ways. It wasn't just about home runs, but also about executing with runners on base, bringing them in, and doing whatever it took to keep the pressure on the Brewers. The Yankees' approach was relentless, and there was no let-up in their attack. It was the kind of performance that you dream about, where everything clicks at just the right time, and every batter is a threat. Meanwhile, the Brewers were doing everything they could to try to right the ship. There were flashes of hope here and there, moments where they could see a path back into the game. They were able to string together a few hits and get some runners on base, but every time they got close to closing the gap, the Yankees' defense and pitching staff stepped up. The Yankees weren't just scoring in big bursts. They were also playing solid defense and making key outs when they needed to. It was a complete game for the team, and their efforts were paying off in the form of a comfortable lead as the innings ticked by. By the time the game entered the later innings, the Brewers' chances of making a comeback were looking slim. The Yankees' offense had put up an insurmountable lead, and with each passing inning, it became clearer that the Brewers would have to pull off something extraordinary to change the outcome. As the game wore on, the Brewers' frustration mounted. Their pitching staff had given up 9 home runs, and they were struggling to get through innings without allowing more damage. With the Yankees hitters in full control, it was hard to imagine a scenario where the Brewers could turn things around. Despite the Brewers' best efforts, the Yankees' offense remained unyielding. The team was executing on all fronts: power hitting, situational hitting, and playing solid defense. The pitching staff, despite the high number of runs allowed, continued to do its job when needed, making key pitches in critical situations. It wasn't the perfect game, but it was close enough. The Yankees were proving that their lineup wasn't just powerful. It was deep, capable of scoring from all angles, and doing so consistently throughout the game. The Brewers, meanwhile, were left to wonder what had gone wrong. They had come into the game with high hopes, but were quickly outclassed by a Yankees team that seemed to be firing on all cylinders. As the final innings approached, the Yankees were on the brink of setting a new franchise record for home runs in a single game. It was already clear that this game would go down in history as one of the most memorable performances for the team. The Yankees weren't just hitting home runs. They were making a statement, showing that their offense could be just as dominant as any pitching staff in the league. With every swing, they were etching their names into the history books, and the Brewers were left to watch as the Yankees continued to pile on the runs. In the end, the Yankees' victory was a testament to their offensive power, depth, and ability to perform under pressure. It was a game that would be talked about for years to come, not just for the records it set, but for the sheer dominance the Yankees displayed from start to finish. The Brewers, though, would have to regroup and reflect on the lessons learned from this tough outing. Every game is a new opportunity, and while this one was a blowout, there would be other challenges ahead. The Brewers would need to dig deep, find their resilience, and bounce back from what was undoubtedly a difficult defeat. As for the Yankees, they had once again proven why they are one of the most dangerous teams in baseball, and with performances like this, they are certainly a team to watch as the season continues. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. The New York Yankees have always been a team known for their blockbuster acquisitions, and rumors are swirling that they may be eyeing Philadelphia Phillies ace Zack Wheeler to reinforce their pitching rotation. After all, the Yankees have been struggling to find consistent pitching in recent years, and with Wheeler's dominance on the mound, the potential fit seems undeniable. But could this deal really come to fruition? The speculation is rife, and the fans are hungry for answers. Wheeler, a 33-year-old powerhouse, has been a cornerstone for the Phillies pitching staff since signing a 5-year, $118 million contract in 2020. He had an incredible 2021 season, leading the MLB with 213 plus one-third innings and 247 strikeouts, finishing second in Cy Young voting. While his performance dipped a bit in 2023 with a 3.61 ERA, Wheeler still posted a stellar 13-6 record, proving he's no flash in the pan. With the Yankees looking to solidify their starting rotation for a potential deep playoff run, Wheeler's track record makes him a top candidate. However, the timing of a potential move remains uncertain. Wheeler just signed a hefty 3-year, $126 million extension with the Phillies in March 2024, which adds layers of complexity to any trade negotiations. His extension keeps him under contract with Philadelphia until at least 2027, which would mean the Yankees would have to make a deal that's not only financially attractive, but also one that convinces the Phillies to part ways with their ace. The Yankees front office would need to balance their desire for pitching reinforcement with their financial flexibility, especially since Wheeler's contract would carry a significant salary cap hit. With the Yankees also facing challenges in their quest to balance youth and experience in their lineup, any trade for Wheeler would need to be part of a larger, calculated strategy. Could a package deal that includes top prospects be the answer? Fans and analysts alike are eagerly awaiting further developments. Will Zack Wheeler take his talents to the Bronx? If this deal were to happen, it would send shockwaves through the MLB landscape. One thing is for certain. As the trade deadline approaches, all eyes will be on the Yankees and whether they can make a move that could shape their future for years to come. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.